ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
We are a little behind today. Pirates baseball just wrapping up right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Pirates fall to the Rangers 1-0. They lose it in the bottom of the ninth. Reds will be the next opponent for the Pirates. That's coming up tomorrow. We go on the air 6:15 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. If you want to keep track of the Reds taking on Toronto. That's coming up tonight at 7:07. So that'll be the next opponent for the Pirates. And catch Pirates baseball all season long right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we'll move past the Pirates game. Not a good day for the Pirates. Stranded a lot of runners on base. They've got to get those runs in. We've seen that time and time again for the Pirates this season. Let's get you updated on Marshall. That's what we're here to talk about today because I've got comments from running back Jordan Houston. We're going to hear from him in just a few minutes. And we're also going to get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our text line. We'll get everything in. We've got a short time to do it, but that's never stopped us before. We'll do it when we continue on this edition of The Drive. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Remember the first day of school, new backpack, fresh hairstyle, cool new shoes? Now, if only Mom had washed the car before dropping you off. Send your kids back to class and help them make a great first impression this new school year with a clean ride from Thoroughbred Express. Choose from a range of services tailored to meet your needs. From their signature wash and dry to tire shine, foam bath, triple foam, wheel cleaner, bug press, ceramic seal, ceramic shield, and weather guard. Thoroughbred Express has you covered. And after your wash, enjoy post-wash amenities like high-powered vacuums, all-purpose cleaner spray, fresh microfiber towels, and dedicated bay trash cans. All available at your local Thoroughbred Express location. So whether you're dropping the kids off or heading to campus yourself, a quick visit to Thoroughbred will make this school year shine. Wash with the best. Thoroughbred Express. Find a Thoroughbred Express location near you at thoroughbredexpress.com. It's time. Get ready, Barbersville. The fun has arrived. Dave & Buster's has opened its doors, and it's time to show up and show out big time. Experience all the fun of 100-plus games, massive screens showing every sport under the sun, and top-notch food and beverages galore. If that wasn't enough, tap into the future of play with the all-new high-tech darts and social shuffle bays, plus all-immersive play in the arena. It's all here at Dave & Buster's at the Huntington Mall. Let's go!
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Flo here from Progressive to tell you how you get more than great savings with us. You get customer service access through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
That's a lot of ways I can get in touch with you. I see what's going on here. You can't name favorites, but I'm your #1 customer.
Actually, we offer all our customers these ways to contact us.
I'm sure you give just any customer your personal
company
contact info.
Well, you did call us more than any other customer this year. So in that sense, you are our #1 customer.
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Wednesday edition, an abbreviated edition. Paul Swann, your host, here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You just joined us. We're running a little late today. The Pirates wrapping up the series against the Rangers, and the Pirates fall, another one-run loss, 1-0 Rangers with the victory. Pirates are back in action tomorrow. We've got the game for you. They'll take on the Reds right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're going to hear in just a moment from Marshall running back Jordan Houston. Had a chance to catch up with him at camp a few days ago as fall camp wrapped up. We're now getting into that point of the season where the Herd's actually game planning and preparing for the first opponent in Stony Brook. So we'll hear from him in just a moment. Of course, our text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. First text of the show. Texter says, Paul, how does seeding work for the G5 schools in the playoff? Even though they will be a conference championship, will they more than likely not get a home game? So it's based on which 4 highest-ranked conference champions are going to be the 1 and 4. So that's the first thing. So if you're 1 through 4 and you're the highest-ranked 1 through 4. So if we'll use Marshall as the example. Say Marshall is ranked higher than one of the other 4 conference champions, then Marshall will be in one of those 4 seeds. So the remaining 8 teams, including the 5th highest ranked conference championship team, will be seeded. It'll be 5 through 12 through the rankings. And I'm trying to paraphrase here, kind of give you the rough draft here of what this is. So now, once the seeds are picked out, 1 through 4 go to the top 4 conference champions. 5th highest conference champion will be among the other schools that have to play first, and so that could be Marshall, that could be another G5 school. So once the seeds are determined, it's going to basically be bracketed. The lowest seeded 8 teams will play with the number 5 team playing the number 12 team. Winners in each of the 4 matchups advance to the semis. You know where that happens. And then the top 4 seeds will be waiting. In the semis, the 12-5 game will play the 4 seed. You see how this works. It's just going to be like a bracket. The first round games will run December 20th and 21st. And then there's going to be a break for other bowls. And then quarterfinals will be held New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, another break. And then there'll be the semifinals January 9th and 10th. And then the championship game is going to be January 20th. That's kind of the rough draft of it. So Marshall has to be one of those top 4 teams if it wants to get itself in one of those better situations. If Marshall, say, runs the table, could Marshall be one of the highest ranked teams? Could be. It's a possibility. I mean, we're talking here, about hypotheticals. And I just don't know if Marshall would be able to get one of those games. Because the quarterfinals, you keep this in mind also. Say Marshall's a 5 seed, Marshall would play host to the 12 seed. Say Marshall's the 8 seed, Marshall will play host to the 9 seed. Say Marshall's a 6 seed, Marshall's going to play host to the 11 seed. And say Marshall's a 7 seed, Marshall's going to play host to the 10 seed. So I would think if Marshall would get into this thing, we're using Marshall as the G5 example. If Marshall's the G5 example, then I would believe Marshall would get one of those home games. And then it goes to the quarterfinal locations. You get the Fiesta Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and then the All-State Sugar Bowl. Those will all be quarterfinal locations. Capital One Orange Bowl will be a semi, and then the Goodyear Cotton Bowl will be a semi, and then in Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the championship game on January 20th. So that's kind of a look at how that works when it comes to the playoff system. All right. Our text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, who's one opponent that you'd like to see at the Joan for a future home and home? I personally would like to see Liberty invade the Joan. That would be an interesting matchup. Absolutely. That would be an interesting matchup. Who would I like to see invade the Joan? It'd like be a one-on-one, right? Does it have to be a power school? Would it have to be a G5? What are my parameters here? Or can I just pick anyone? If I'm picking anyone, I want to see Kentucky. I want to see Marshall and Kentucky because that game doesn't seem to want to happen. Kentucky, similar to what a few other power schools like to say, or at least their fan bases. If Marshall wins, then it's Marshall Super Bowl. That's always the excuse. Well, why are we playing them? It's their Super Bowl. And if, say, Marshall would lose that game, what did Kentucky get from that? You hear that, right? The Marshall, what'd that mean? Kentucky didn't get anything. I would like to see, if we're reaching here, and again, school from the SEC, I don't think we're going to see too many of those schools making road trips to Sunbelt schools. Maybe in the future, when the landscape changes a little bit more, maybe we'll see a couple of those then Power 4 schools, Power 5, whatever you want to call them, make that trip. I kind of like to see Kentucky. I think that would be a school for me. Liberty would make that trip. Marshall and Liberty. Remember, there was a point in time where the former members of Conference USA didn't want Liberty in. Would Liberty have helped save Conference USA? Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. Marshall's out in the Sun Belt. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Okay, we're almost caught up. So we're going to hear from Jordan Houston when we continue. We've got a break to take. We'll come back. We'll continue on. Jordan Houston and your text coming up on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Listen up, folks. Menard's summer indoor furniture sale is back, and it's out of this world. From comfy chairs, relaxing recliners, soft sofas and sectionals, and so much more, Menard's has it all. And it's ready for you to take home today. Visit the store and menards.com to get great deals on all of our indoor furniture while supplies last. Because once they're gone, they're gone. So don't wait and hurry in today.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe heard what you're craving and is here to satisfy your appetite for value. Introducing the All Mine for $10.99 menu for a limited time only at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Enjoy bottomless Fiesta Bravo chips and salsa, your choice of a chicken sandwich, or a Hall of Fame cheeseburger, fries, and a drink for only $10.99.
All that for $10.99?
No, all mine for $10.99. No rules, any day, anytime. All mine for only $10.99 from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington.
Hi, I'm Elise Smith, First Lady at Marshall University and founder of the Women Warrior Summit. We are so excited to welcome country music star and author Trisha Yearwood back to Huntington for year 2 of this empowering event. We can't wait to see you on October 18th at Marshall Health Network Arena to learn about the power of productivity. Thank you to our sponsors, Nucor Steel, Encova, Dutch Miller Auto Group, Merrill Lynch, Fairmont Properties, and many more who are helping to empower the women of Appalachia. For more information on the summit, please visit womenwarriorsummit.com.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Text lines 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome back. It's The Drive here at ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Let's get going with comments from running back Jordan Houston. Had a chance to catch up with him at the conclusion of fall camp, and he's excited. He's ready to go. He gets an opportunity to go out there and hopefully be on the field a lot, and he talked about that with us on Saturday, just being ready for the season after spring and fall camp.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I can't wait. as y'all know, I redshirted after the third game last season, so it's been a while since I've been able to really play. So I can't wait, man, to just go battle with Coach Huff and my teammates, man. I can't wait.
So some anticipation there for him just finally get out there and be a contributor to the team. And he's been there a while. He's had some opportunity to be in that running back room. And he talked a little bit about that group and just how that running back room and those guys that he's working with daily, how they've just pushed everyone to be better.
Yeah, I mean, it's real competitive in our room. I mean, we're constantly trying to outdo each other. I mean, you see AJ or Ethan Payne make a play, that just drives me to, go out there and play even harder.
One thing he talked about, just where he's at right now, where he's seen the most growth. And again, this is running back Jordan Houston, if you just joined us. We're talking about what he has seen the most from his personal growth. It's been a while since he's been out there. So he's had room between his last game, through all these camps, and at this point now. So he's a little reflective on just where he's at, where he's seen his growth.
The most growth for me, I would say just, like keeping my composure, staying calm in the big moments, just being able to, be where my feet are pretty much. I think that's probably where I've grown the most.
And he gets to play in a new offense, so he's having fun. I was trying to get his thoughts on just being in that new air raid offense. And in general, there are going to be some opportunities for him, but he's having fun.
Oh, yeah, I've been having a blast, man. I love playing football. They're able to, spread me around to a few different places on the field. So, yeah, it's been a blast for me.
And if I'm a running back, I'm happy about that because with the air raid, everyone thinks it's going to be just pass, but you're still going to have an effective run game, and you're going to have to be able to use those guys. So being able to move him around, spread him out a little bit, give him some opportunities, I think that's going to overall still fit in with that Charles Huff running back mentality at the same time with this more open offense. That's what we're looking for. That's what we've been wanting to see for several seasons now. Open offense and sort of harken back to those days of martial glory in the 90s. Now, the offensive unit, how has that line grown? He's a guy that has to depend on them. He's got to look at those guys. They're always in front of him. How has that unit grown since he's been there?
Yeah, they've had a lot. I've seen a lot of growth from them since I first got here. And, people don't even know, our O-line, they are outside, as a group, just doing drills on their own, meeting together on their own, just trying to get down the little details and being able to, mesh together as an O-line. So they've come a long way, They're a lot closer than they were before. And, yeah, they're starting to mesh a lot better now.
Hopefully we're going to see that, and we'll get a quarterback name sooner than later, I hope. We'll find out a little bit more if it all comes together. Now, for Jordan, now he's getting an opportunity to really get out there. And so what's that feeling going to be like of just running out onto the field when we get to that game?
Yeah, I'll probably I might shed a tear, man. I don't know. It's just going to be, an exciting moment for me. It's going to be fun. Being able to play with my brothers again. So, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm with him as well. And just the fact that now you're preparing for an opponent, that's what he talked about next. And just how that actually makes the season feel real.
Yeah, it definitely crept up on us fast. I remember every day in team meeting, Coach Huff, he'll have the amount of days up on the board of how many days till game day, and now I remember when he first did it, it was the number was 80 something, and now it's 14, and it seemed like it just went by so fast, but it's exciting, and I can't wait.
Game's coming up, not this Saturday, next Saturday. We'll have it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We'll open our text line up, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've had a couple interesting texts come in. One was asking which opponent would I like to see, or which school that maybe hasn't been in to Huntington, but I like to see play at the Jome. Sort of a home and home. Liberty was thrown out there. I'm thinking Kentucky's a name. That's an interesting question. Is there an opponent that you'd like to see come into Joan C. Edwards Stadium that hasn't been there before? That is our text line question of the day. I'll take that. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Flo here from Progressive to tell you how you get more than great savings with us. You get customer service access through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
That's a lot of ways I can get in touch with you. I see what's going on here. You can't name favorites, but I'm your number one customer.
Actually, we offer all our customers these ways to contact us.
I'm sure you give just any customer your personal
company
contact info.
Well, you did call us more than any other customer this year. So in that sense, you are our number one customer.
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Did you know September 11th is a National Day of Service? We invite you to be kind with Volunteer West Virginia, because every mountaineer has the power to make a difference. Join in our statewide Day of Service, whether it's lending a hand or spreading kindness. In West Virginia, every mountaineer is a volunteer. Visit volunteer.wv.gov to find a volunteer opportunity near you. Brought to you by Volunteer West Virginia, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
The storm is getting stronger. All the pieces are falling into place. It's the final tune-up before the regular season begins. The Bengals host the Indianapolis Colts on Thursday night, August 22nd at 8 p.m.
Bring your friends and enjoy pregame at the Banks. Then head to Paycor Stadium for a Thursday night party in the jungle.
Come rule the jungle with us. Good seats are still available for the Bengals-Colts game. For tickets, visit Bengals.com/tickets.
Flo here from Progressive to tell you how you get more than great savings with us. You get customer service access through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
That's a lot of ways I can get in touch with you. I see what's going on here. You can't name favorites, but I'm your number one customer.
Actually, we offer all our customers these ways to contact us.
I'm sure you give just any customer your personal
company
contact info.
Well, you did call us more than any other customer this year. So in that sense, you are our number one customer.
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We continue on with this Wednesday edition of The Drive. Paul Swann, your host here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Had a couple interesting questions come in on our text line, and one of them was name an opponent that I would like to see play Marshall at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. And so without any more parameters, I said, Kentucky would be a good opponent. I would like to see Kentucky come out and play Marshall, 1-for-1 play at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Now, we could say everybody under the moon, who would I like to see at Joan C. Edwards Stadium? And that was sort of the question. At the Jome, future game at the Jome. We're not getting Alabama, so we got to cut some of those teams off. Is Alabama coming to Joan C. Edwards Stadium? Probably not. Would Ohio State come? Probably not. Would it be a reach? Would it be a stretch for Kentucky? Maybe. Kentucky might not make that trip. So if this is just complete fantasy, yeah, I'm taking, hey, give me Alabama. I want to see Alabama at the Jome. If this is absolutely fantasy. But we got to be realistic about this. What are some of the opponents that might be out there that Marshall could attract and that would be interesting? Like, for example, Marshall and Wake Forest. What do you think there? Marshall, Wake Forest. The last time they played, I believe, was in 1941. That is an interesting matchup, maybe. And again, I'm trying to find opponents that haven't been to Huntington and that would be interesting. Like say, for example, Virginia Tech, we've got them already. So not worried about that. Would a opponent from maybe a Midwest state or a Western state be interesting? And again, I want this to be an interesting matchup at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Have some reason for it. I just don't want to throw names out there. So what about, would a Texas school like Texas Tech? I'm not getting Texas or Texas A&M, obviously. Would I get Texas Tech if I was reaching out there? Probably not. So what does that leave me there? Would Army, could I get Army to come to Huntington? Would that be an interesting one? Could I possibly stay with the military schools, could I get Air Force to come to Huntington? They've never met. The two schools have never met. Would Air Force make that trip? Could that be a 1-for-1? And honestly, if you're looking for 1-for-1s, hey, what's a good school that Marshall could go play? It'd be a cool trip. It would be cool. And Air Force might be one of those schools where you think, hey, that'd be a pretty cool game. Marshall and Air Force. And if we're talking about 1-for-1, they got to come back to Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Maybe that's a good opponent to look at. Air Force. I like it. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our text line to be a part of today's edition of The Drive here at ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Texter writes in and says, Paul, Kentucky's like West Virginia. We don't need them. Now, I don't know if I would shut the door on that one. I don't think I'm getting a home for home. I don't think I would get a 1-for-1 out of that. Because, again, you're talking about an SEC school. You're talking about how much does Kentucky get from that game. I mean, realistically, the argument's going to be, well, if Kentucky loses, that was Marshall's Super Bowl. If Kentucky wins, well, they're supposed to. It's an SEC school. Really doesn't help us recruiting. You're going to get all those excuses to not play the game. So maybe I don't get Kentucky. I would like it. I mean, we've seen Louisville. Okay, so we've done that. We've done Louisville. I'm going to go with Air Force. Texter wrote in earlier, said Liberty would be one of those opponents. And again, I'm just looking for what's an interesting matchup. And at the same time, you're looking for it's a good home and home. And it makes sense. You can bring them in, and you can also hit that road and make that trip. And I don't necessarily want to go somewhere where it's not interesting. Like, for example, Kansas. Not interesting to me. Would I play the game? Sure. Is it interesting to me? Not really. But that might change. Kansas might change. That might be more interesting here in the near future. So what about an opponent like, for example, and again, I don't know if I'm reaching or not. Could I get Iowa State maybe? No matchups ever between the two. Could I get them to come to Joan C. Edwards Stadium if I'm athletic director? Make that pitch. Would that be an interesting road trip for you? Would Nebraska even have any luster for you? Would there be any shine on Nebraska? Never played, so that's a matchup right there. Thundering Herd and Nebraska never have played. You want to just go out west? What about Marshall and Stanford? Could Stanford make that road trip? Would Stanford make that road trip to Huntington, West Virginia? 304-396-TALK. Here's one from the text line. How about Duke? I like it, actually. I like Wake Forest. I like Duke. I could see that. And it would be an easy trip for Herd fans. And again, there's no matchup ever between the two schools. So Marshall and Duke, that could lead to something. Maybe you could work something out. Say you get a home and home. You play Duke on the road. They come back to Joan C. Edwards Stadium. You sweeten it up and you get a Marshall-Duke basketball game. It'd be a road game, but you get a Marshall-Duke basketball game out of it as well. Trying to be creative. I think that would be an interesting matchup. I like that. I like Wake Forest. And again, I'm trying to be realistic about this. I can throw any school out there. I'm not getting Ohio State to come to Huntington. It's just not happening. The financials just don't make sense. I'm not seeing that matchup. But Duke could make sense, and Duke would be an interesting matchup, I think. Texter says, Paul, what about Pitt? It could be an interesting matchup at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Would it be interesting enough, though? And Marshall has played them. Could Marshall get them back on the schedule? Could Marshall get them back on the schedule and come to Joan C. Edwards Stadium? It's a thought. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Now, let's kind of look at Marshall's future schedule at home. We get it opening in 2025. Right now, Missouri State's the home game in 2025. In 2026, the home games are Middle Tennessee and Eastern Michigan. Penn State's on that 2026 schedule. Penn State's not coming to Huntington. Georgia's on the 2025 schedule. Georgia's not coming to Huntington. 2027, you got Boise State and Bowling Green. Those are the home games. 2028, you're at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not coming to Huntington. Ohio, Central Connecticut on the 2028 schedule at Eastern Michigan. And then in 2029, you have Ohio. That's what your schedule looks like right now. And I think this might be a sign of what the schedule is going to look like in the future. You get a good game like Georgia, and you kind of balance it out with school like Missouri State, which you've never played before. And then you have Middle Tennessee. You played them before. It's a road contest. You get a 1-1 with them. I like that. Here's one. Texter says, Paul, I like the Wake Forest matchup or UConn, and you could get a basketball matchup out of it as well. That's an idea right there. You could do a 1-for-1. And again, I'm just wheeling and dealing here like I'm the athletic director. Get a 1-for-1. Okay, we'll play Wake Forest or UConn 1-for-1. And we get a basketball game out of it as well. It's going to be on the road. It's not going to be a home game. UConn's not coming to Huntington. Wake's not coming to Huntington. But it would be a fun basketball trip for Thundering Herd fans. Speaking of basketball, we're going to talk a little bit more about it as I am working on trying to get a couple of guests later on this week or next for women's basketball. The non-conference schedule is out for women's basketball. Pikeville is going to be your fans' first game, your exhibition game on October 27th. And also, you're going to have a matchup with Toledo on November 4th. You're going to have a home game against NKU on November 10th, a home game against Elon November 13th, home game against George Mason on November 17th. And then, of course, we know the trip to Disney, Penn State, Tulsa, those are games we knew about. Salem's a home game on December 1st. Florida is a road game on December 8th. Jacksonville is going to be on December 13th, home game. Cincinnati on the road, December 18th. Davis and Elkins, December 21st at home. And then the Sun Belt Conference MAC matchup, February 8th. That's the home game that will be determined. We will be back on our normal schedule tomorrow. Until then, have a great night.
Retransmitting on Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.